Greetings, my fellow time travelers. Welcome back to the Prologue world. Please join me for some more casual, hardcore-ish Minecraft gameplay. Yeah. It's going to be a very special episode I got for you today. It's the first episode after the 100-day world tour. I'm moving forward now towards day 100, day 200, day 200 now. It is now past day 100. It is now, we're on day 104. It's going to be day 105 after I sleep. It's going to be day 105 now. I'm going to try to keep this down to just 3 days, and I'm running a little ahead, so I should actually stop playing at the end of 2 days to catch up to schedule, but I'm not going to be able to. I have a big topic in mind for today. It's going to need to go on for at least 3 days. I'm going to try to end it after just 3 days, though. But anyways, Prologue World, this place. I need to move on with doing things. I do have some interesting commentary lined up that I want to talk to you guys about. But the main attraction of today's episode is going to be digging dirt. This dirt. I'm going to be digging dirt while I talk to you guys. I'm very excited about this because if you don't know me yet, I thoroughly love to dig dirt. That's like literally my number one favorite thing to do in this game. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about. I just wanted to make sure I actually have my inventory is actually all set. I'm sorry, too distracted. I don't need to carry these apples around with me right now. Anything else I don't need? I think we're going to need more shovels if I'm going to be digging dirt. I'm going to need a bunch more shovels. Sorry, guys. So yeah, well, the topic for today. I have a big topic today that I want to address. I want to talk about the things that motivate non-religious people. Because the reason I want to talk about this has been on my mind lately, because I was watching a bit of a debate between some atheists and some Christian people, and that was kind of a hot point of contention for the Christian folks. And I've heard that before, that this contention with how without religion, well, there's just nothing to live for. Like, there's just no motivating factors. There's nothing to motivate people to want to contribute to the world. You know, if they can't count on some kind of a heavenly reward in the afterlife, or if they can't hold themselves accountable out of fear of some kind of eternal punishment, well, then they're just going to have nothing to live for in life. And they're just going to turn to hedonism and just live for the immediate pleasures of life. I'm just looking around this area first to see how much dirt I'm actually going to be digging. I'm going to be digging a good bunch of dirt. It's going to be a lot of dirt digging. Basically, the idea is, let me talk a little bit about the gameplay before I move on with the commentary, because I do want to actually explain what I'm going to be doing. What I'm thinking of, I'm going to need to build a cow farm. And I'm thinking of building it along this strip over here. I'm going to essentially make this a flat wall, and I'm going to use wood planks to sort of build a retaining wall, but I'm going to flatten this retaining wall out. Over here, there is kind of a drop into the cave system underneath. Problem is, from what I remember from the time when I explored these caves in free cam a little bit, I cheated a tiny bit. I think that very early on, in like episode 3 or 4, I talked about this. I did cheat a tiny bit, compromised the spontaneity, and looked into the caves a little bit. So I know that this actually leads to a drop from the ceiling into a death sentence cave underneath. So it's actually going to be a very difficult spot to create an entrance down into the caves, because you're going to need to build from the bottom up to join the ceiling where you would have the stairwell going downwards, and I would like to do that. Like I'm very fond of making buildings, of choosing spots that are natural openings from the cave systems, natural openings coming out of the grounds. That to me, those are excellent spots for building stuff. Like this is an ideal location to me for my next build, my next actual structure. You know, not counting just rectangular farms. If you count that as a structure, then I guess the sheep farm over there is a structure, but I don't really count that as a structure. And the cow farm, I mean, it's not going to be much of a structure. I mean, I'm talking about like a building. I want to build a building here. Like I'm going to call it like the mine head, but also the farmhouse, because it's going to be right where the cow farm is going to go through. And this cow farm, I'm thinking it's going to be pretty big. I mean, it's going to basically stretch the entire length of this retaining wall that I would like to build. And this retaining wall is basically going to go all the way to where it kind of rounds out over here in this place. So there's more tree chopping to be done over here. Like all of these small trees are going to need to go. And all of these trees on top of this little plateau here at the foothill, I guess, or I don't know what to call it, the mountain, like in this area, all of these trees are going to need to go. So there's definitely a lot more tree chopping in order. There's a lot. So we're nowhere close to being done with the tree chopping. But I am going to be using up a whole bunch of wood for that retaining wall, but probably not nearly as much as I actually have, or as much as I'm going to be obtaining after all of this tree chopping that I'm going to need to do over here. Let's put a torch up here. I've been lighting up putting up torches on these tall trees whenever I see one that's like a good spot for a torch. Just like that. Yeah, so yeah, I think I have a good impression now of what dirt I need to be digging. I'm going to be digging all of this dirt at the bottom here. I'm going to start from this corner over here, and just start digging this way. I guess I need to figure out how far into this wall am I going to be digging. Am I going to need to chop down these trees first? Darn it, I don't really want to. But it's going to be six blocks tall. I've counted the blocks. There's 6 blocks. You know, from this level. This is going to be the level where the cow farm is going to start off at. And I'm going to want here. Let's put just a couple of fence posts to sort of mark the spots where, because I'm going to want stairs. I'm going to build stairs going down to the level at which the house is built. Like to this level, it's going to be something like this going on. And I'm going to create a little path going in this direction along here. So yeah, I'm gonna need some stairs. In fact, I should probably just go ahead and grab those stairs now. I'm going to be going up and down quite a lot. I should probably just go ahead and install those stairs now while I'm thinking about it. You know, because I'm going to be going up and down through that space quite a lot. And I have lots of stairs. Jeez, I forgot I had all of these stairs. Why do I have all of these stairs? Oh, well, I was building stairs. That's right. I have all of these stairs because I was building like a bunch of staircases. That's like that one right. Yeah, that's right. That makes sense. Yeah, so I guess we'll start here. And there goes my first shovel. I'm gonna start here because all of this is gonna need to go, and I'm not sure how much of this is gonna need to go yet. I'll figure that out later on. Let's just put these stairs here. All right, we're getting somewhere, guys. All right, so let me move on with a comment. Well, I still got to figure out how deep am I going to go. Let me figure this out first, and then I'll jump into the commentary, into the mildly entertaining Artem philosophy. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So up to this level. So I'm going to need to do more flattening going forward here. Because this is already, I mean, this is I'm carving into the 7th layer here. This is already 6 layers. 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 6 layers. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is already the 7th layer. Darn, that's kind of more than I anticipated. Should I just make it 7 blocks tall? Perhaps I should just make it 7 or even 8 blocks tall. I should make it like 8 blocks tall then. If it keeps going, I mean, because that's going to be more dirt to level. I should just make it 8 blocks tall. And perhaps go out like to this, extend it out to here, like to this, where I'm standing right here. Yeah? Or like 1 more block inwards, 2 more blocks. Or just align it with this tree. Align it with this tree. I think that's a good idea, because there's this natural tree here. I think it's signifying that this is where a good natural border, because there's significance, mystical significance to natural tall trees. There's liminal animosity, liminal animism, not animosity, liminal animism to natural tall trees. I think that's what I'm gonna do. This is gonna be the edge of the border, right where this tree is. So that's 7. Well, no, because it makes it. Well, no, because it's still tall enough. Even if you're building on this level, it's still gonna be tall enough. Yeah, we're gonna be fine. I gotta sprint back to the house and sleep real quick. Monsters might already be spawning in that forest as we talk, as I speak. Let me go ahead and sleep real quick. Well, that was the first day. I took 1 day to just figure it out, right? I think I got it figured out now, though. I think I can spend the rest of the 2 days of this episode actually talking about the topic at hand. And I guess I'll have a timestamp, you know, forwarding people to around this time so that you can skip all of skip the thinking, the footage of my thinking. That probably doesn't make for very entertaining footage. Well, probably maybe it does actually, because like it's good to see that, to see the entire process of what Minecraft is like, right? That's what this channel is all about, capturing the entire process. I think that's worth it. That was the whole idea behind the justification, if you will, for not editing. My rationalization. In reality, I don't have the motivation for it. I'm not feeling very motivated whatsoever to edit. Perhaps I will in the future when I feel more motivated, but the kind of you know, issues that I'm dealing with, I'm very ill motivated. I find myself struggling to actually do things that are particularly productive or difficult. Like I just don't have the motivation to do much editing. I don't think I can do it. I don't have it in me. So that's the real reason why I'm not editing. Perhaps sometime in the future. I mean, I have all of this footage, so perhaps in the future, once I heal from my chronic illness, I'll actually start editing stuff, and then it would be cool, and then I would actually get subscribers. I've seen brand new channels get like 400 or 500 subscribers from their first episode just because it was well edited. And I'm on like my 100th video now, or something like that. And I got just a little bit more than that number in subscribers. That's what I get for not editing. But I think that there's ample space in the Minecraft world for this kind of content anyways. I don't think it's so bad. It's not as bad as I make it out to be. I think that there is a charm to it. I would like to watch content like this, okay? In my defense, I'm making content that I would like to watch, right? That makes it okay, right? I think that makes it okay. And that kind of goes that kind of goes along with the topic that I had in mind for today, because I wanted to talk about what motivates me to be doing this. Why am I doing this? Right? So I need to get to that. But let's start from the kind of the pitch for the topic, right? Of how why this is on my mind lately. And it's because I've been watching debates of religious people talking to atheists on the internet, on YouTube. I don't want to mention the specific one, because they might not want to associate with a proudly ignorant person like myself. But I was watching these debates, and in one of them, these religious people were very hard pressed to make they were very frustrated with not getting an adequate response to this contention that they had, that to an atheist there doesn't appear to them to be a source of motivation for life if you're an atheist. Because then what's the point? If you're just going to die and then that's going to be it, why bother with life? Right? So you need to believe in God, because if you don't, then there's just no point to life. The only point to life is to appease God and to make it into heaven and to be rewarded for your good deeds in heaven, or to at least not be so sinful that you would be banned from heaven, I suppose. I mean, most religious people don't actually believe in hell if you press them on it. Like, they find that to be cruel and unusual punishment, because it would be cruel and unusual punishment by our humane standards. But they sure talk about hell quite a bit, as a means of scaring children into the faith to begin with. Hell is a common concept, right? Even though most religious people don't even really believe in it, but still, that there's this contention that without the fear of God's punishment or the appeal of heavenly rewards, there's just no point to life then. Then why are we doing it then? And this is very, very frustrating to me, because it reveals a sort of a cynicism about human nature, that we are very transactional in our nature, that if we don't see, if there isn't something in it for us, then we're not really so charitable and not really so compassionate, and then we wouldn't really bother with trying to act out of goodwill, that it's all just a matter of seeking reward in the afterlife for us, right? Or abstaining from sin. That's what it comes down to for religious people. And from their perspective, if you don't believe in that, well, then you're just not to be trusted. And if you don't believe in that, then you must not even care you must not be motivated to exercise, to be on your good behavior. If they're thinking that if you don't believe that there's a heavenly reward for you waiting for you after life, then you're just gonna. Damn it! I'm sorry. I don't have an axe. I didn't expect. I was gonna dig dirt. I wasn't expecting to chop trees. I kind of got carried away chopping the trees at the top here. Now I gotta get an axe. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta pause the commentary for a second and go make an axe for myself. I can do it right here. There's a crafting table right here. I barely have any cobble. I have just enough cobble. Got just enough cobble to last me through this episode. I guess it's going to be more about chopping trees than digging dirt. I don't think I'm gonna be chopping trees for a whole nother day after this. Oh, but what the heck? I do have access. What am I doing? Oh, that's a hose. I needed hose. It's the hose that I need, not the axes. And I only have enough cobblestone for 2 hose. Wow. I'm going to need to get cobble. Oh, there's going to be cobblestone underneath the dirt once I actually dig through the dirt. All right, but back to the conversation. So yeah, to these religious folk, they're thinking that if you don't believe in that stuff, then you're just going to be a mindless hedonist. You're just going to pursue, there's going to be nothing in it for you other than the immediate pleasures of life. And you're going to live you're not going to be a compassionate, good-willed person, and it's going to be exclusively, any kind of collaboration that they can trust you with is exclusively going to be a matter of mutual exploitation with you. So they can't trust you because they don't think that you're afraid of divine punishment, divine retribution for your sins. So they would suspect that you're going to be up to some kind of mischief, that you have ill intentions, because you don't believe that you're going to be held accountable for it in the afterlife. And you also, since you don't expect there to be anything in it for you for good behavior, they would expect that you're just not going to do anything out of the sheer kindness of your heart unless there's a transactional reward for you, waiting for you, unless you get some kind of cash compensation or something like that. Then they're just going to think that you're not going to do anything to be charitable and compassionate. That's kind of their perspective on human nature if it wasn't for God, right? And to me, that seems to me as a incredibly cynical perspective to have, and that's probably how these people feel about themselves. That if they were to find themselves without their beliefs, if they were to consider, well, how would they behave if it wasn't for their belief system? That's how they're imagining they would feel. They just wouldn't be motivated to be compassionate and charitable and to abstain from harmful adversarial behavior on the basis that, well, they're not going to. There's nothing in it for them, and that we live in a cold-hearted world of mutual exploitation, and that's that, and there's nothing else, and that's the cynical perspective that these supposedly, very kind-hearted Christians appear to be living with. They think that without their Christianity, we just become cynical, hedonistic, no good, dirty money grabbers. And we without religion, we just succumb to barbaric inclinations, and that's why we ought to believe in God. Not because God is definitely real and there's good reason to believe that God is definitely real, but no, because we just wouldn't be motivated enough without that belief, which is in itself to me strikes to me as a major leap of rationality. That the reason you should believe in God is not that it's obvious to them that there's good reason to expect that it's true. That no, it's not because it appears to be true, but because that's the best you have to hope for. That if it's not for that, then we're just doomed to barbarism. Then we don't. There's no hope for humanity if that's not the case. And I find that to be an immensely cynical viewpoint, and I have immense respect for religion. I think that since we don't have clarity about what the truth is. Why am I carrying a milk bucket? It's no, you no longer need to carry around a milk bucket. The only use for the milk bucket any longer since the 1.21 update is if you're going into caves to potentially meet cave spiders. Well, I guess though the witch can also poison you or something, I think. Yeah, the witch can also poison you, I think. Or no, it can slow you down or something, or cause effects. It used to be that I was carrying a milk bucket in case I ran into the raiders, the illagers, because you needed the milk to drink milk to get rid of the ill omen. But now the ill omen comes in potion form, so you don't even need you don't need to be carrying around a milk bucket, milk bucket. Yeah, milk bucket. That is what it is. It is a milk bucket. Yeah, you don't need to be carrying that around anymore. All right, I'm done chopping trees. That's it. I made too many axes for myself. I don't really need this axe now. I'm back to having a spare axe. That's all right. That's okay. Okay, let's actually do some dirt digging, which is what I really wanted to do in this. I guess I was gonna use some wood to like make a line of planks going across here. Oh no, the line of planks was gonna be across here. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I do need some wood. I'm sorry, guys, being a little. What's the word? Empty-headed. Not empty-headed. Little. Words are hard. I don't remember the word. Tip of the tongue. I don't really need a whole. Fuck it. Let's just bring a full stack. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Well, yeah. Let's just go ahead and convert 2 of these into planks. And I guess I didn't even need to. Well, I always carry 2 hoes around. I didn't need to make the hose. That's all right. It's okay. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. And the sugarcane is ready for harvest. Let's do that real quick. I am trying to harvest the sugar. Stockpile the sugarcane because I'm gonna need. You're gonna need a lot of sugarcane for the bookcases, but also cows. That's why I need to make the cow farm to get the cows going. All right. Well, let me try to return to the discussion. I only have this one day left to try to complete the conversation. So what I was going to talk about was, well, what do I think are the motivating factors if you are not religious? For the non-religious, for the uninitiated, or the skeptics, or the agnostics, such as myself. I am charitably agnostic. I think that it's more likely than not that something supernatural exists. But still, I think that if it does, then our religions are misleading us. That if something does exist, then the religions that we currently have are not to be trusted. But so what motivates me, and what do I think commonly motivates other agnostics and atheists? Yeah, well, let me talk about that. So what what I think. So the number one thing and that's the biggest contention that religious folk have, is that atheists turn to hedonism, to the short term, to the immediate pleasures of life. I'm gonna just fill this in with planks. I'm just gonna run this streak of planks all the way out to where I think it needs. This is outlining the retaining wall. This is giving me just so that it's clear to me to what extent I need to dig in, and then this is gonna get filled in. It's gonna get flattened out at the top over here. The rest of these trees are gonna get chopped down. Big plans over here. Big plans happening, and it's going to be a very, very big cow farm. It's going to stretch this entire length. Going to have lots of cows. So let's look at that first. The hedonism claim, the claim that we're just going to be turning to hedonism. So I must admit that this is true to some extent, to a large extent. Actually, this is probably true. There are many people that do turn to that kind of thinking, that the greatest thing in life is the immediate pleasures of life, and then that's basically it. And there is a significant portion of atheists that I'm familiar with, and agnostics, that would say that, yeah, that is exactly how they feel about life, and that's basically what they live for, and perhaps the religious folks are right then. Well, here's what I want to say about that. So, first of all, in order to do that, in order to live a hedonistic life, well, you normally you still have to live on something. You end up having to make that money. You end up having to participate in society to make that money to be able to sustain your hedonistic lifestyle, or perhaps you're mooching off your parents or your inheritance money or something like that. You're kind of living this squanderous lifestyle, and you're not really contributing anything to society, but you're not working, and all you do is just play Minecraft all day, or other video games, other less productive. Minecraft, I think Minecraft feels slightly constructive to me. I feel like I'm doing something slightly productive with playing Minecraft, because you get to retain everything. You get to keep playing. It's like it keeps going. But that's a separate topic. I gotta focus on the topic at hand here. All right, I'm not sure how far I'm gonna keep going with this. I'm gonna need to chop all these trees down before I figure that out. Let me go ahead and start on the dirt digging, because I need more cobble, and I need to get some cobble from underneath this dirt. So yeah, that is a significant portion of the atheists out there and agnostics out there who do see life as primarily being a matter of consumption, that that's the best part of life, and that's what they live for. Now, I would say that even if they are just sort of squandering their life, or they're just making the best of it, and they're not really contributing anything, and it's not because they're disabled or their lives, there's something, they're very misfortunate and something's preventing them from contributing to society. No, they just don't want to. They just feel like life isn't really worth working for, so they don't feel like they're in any kind of obligation to contribute to society, to work, to participate in society. There are some people like that, and there are a lot of people that are genuinely disabled, or they're very unfortunate. Perhaps they're not disabled to the extent that our standards for what's considered disabled actually, that they would qualify for any kind of subsidies or anything like that, but they're sufficiently disabled to where I would sympathize with them and feel like they don't, like we should be granting them financial assistance in the best case, in a fair and just world. So yeah, there are people like that, and there are people that aren't like that don't have any kind of legitimate excuse, I guess. I don't like to use that word, because I don't think that you need an excuse. I think that the hedonistic stance of feeling like life isn't really worth working for because it's full of suffering, and it's not really, people didn't really have a choice in life. I guess this is not I shouldn't call it the hedonistic stance, because the hedonism is kind of the outcome, or one of the potential outcomes of that, but it's rather the anti-natalist stance, that life is not, like, we didn't have a choice in life, and life sucks anyways. Life's terrible. We didn't have a choice in it, so we have an existential grievance against having been born, and thus we are under no obligation to contribute to society. I heard zombie sounds. I don't want to get stuck in here in this tunnel if something's about to drop down on top of me. I heard a zombie. That's why I sprinted out of there. It's getting dark. So yeah, I don't really see... The thing is, I think that's a respectable perspective. I think that it's entirely legitimate to feel that way. All right. Well, it seems like I'm going to have to cut my conversation short, and perhaps return to this discussion in the next episode, because I don't want to just continue on. I feel like I made significant progress with doing this today. Got more dirt. This dirt chest is gonna get filled up super fast. I'm gonna need to make some other dirt chests probably. Well, this has still got plenty of room in it. I'll keep utilizing this dirt chest for another while I can. Right. So anyways, I'm gonna have to pause and come back to this conversation in the next episode. What I was gonna talk about a little bit about this. What to me seems to be a very respectable perspective, first of all, but that's kind of just the tip of the iceberg. Like that, I don't think there's anything actually wrong with that perspective. It's respectable, and I want to talk about that. But beyond that, I think many people do actually have a lot more that feels motivating to them beyond the immediate pleasures of life. There's also the agnostic and atheistic people find themselves wanting to contribute to society, for the sake of a sense of fulfillment that they derive from making that contribution. And beyond that, many people find it very fulfilling to try to raise a family, to raise children, to procreate and ensure the well-being of their children. And beyond that, I'm trying to advocate for what I call family tribe revival. I'm going to start calling it family tribe revival to drive home the point that I'm not just talking about a tribe in the sense that it's just a group of people that believe in the same stuff. No, I'm talking about a family tribe, like a tribe of relatives. I think that it's possible to revive that kind of social atmosphere in the modern world, to where we live and work with our relatives. And it would take many generations to do that. It's not going to happen in your generation, but that's something to strive towards, and that's an extremely motivating. To me, that's an extremely invigorating concept that motivates me tremendously, despite not having any certainty of afterlife. But the idea that you can work to sort of leave a legacy for yourself after you cease to be, that there's a continuation of something that you've contributed to the world. That's very invigorating to me, and that is a source of motivation for many agnostics and atheists. And I would add that I think that that's a more noble kind of motivation than the religious motivation of expecting heavenly reward. Because in our case, we're not expecting a heavenly reward. We expect to not even know what happens after death, presumably nothing. You expect nothing out of it, except for the pleasure, the satisfaction of dying with the dignity of having done your best in life and having made the most out of it and having contributed as much as you could during your lifetime. To just the satisfaction of dying with that sense of dignity is what we live for, is what I live for. And I think it's an admirable source of motivation, and I think that it's very common for people to feel that way. And it's very frustrating to me that many religious people seem to think that that's not the case, and that cynically they seem to believe that we don't have that kind of motivation. That's not a part of who we are. So anyways, I want to keep talking about this in the next episode. And if you made it this far, I really appreciate your viewership, and I would really appreciate any kind of feedback on this, even if it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. I really would like to make this space a place where people can feel free to express themselves and to just talk to to strangers on the internet in the comments over some Minecraft footage. That's kind of the vision for this place, for the Proudly Ignorant channel. So yeah, I look forward to any kind of feedback I would get. Thank you very much for joining me in this episode, and I'll see you next time. Shadowlay, my fellows. Shadowlay.